We are deep in the throes of day 2 of the Fantom Developer Conference, and up next, very excited about this one, all about liquid staking, taking the deep dive. Please welcome up to the stage Josh Neuroth. He is Head of Product at Ankr. Hi, Josh.
We're excited to be here today. As she said, my name is Josh Neuroth. I lead product at a company called Ankr. We are a Web3 infrastructure provider. We have full nodes, validators, and we have a whole staking platform. So today, Filipe on our team, he's our head of DeFi. He couldn't be here today in person, but he's going to introduce our upcoming support for Fantom liquid staking. So we're excited to be here, and if you could turn your eyes to the screen, we'll play the video.
Welcome to the Fantom Developer Conference. So today we're going to do a deep dive into liquid staking. So first, it is important to put things into context in a perspective where there is proof of work and proof of stake. So I guess you're familiar with the difference. And the main problem of proof of work was its energy inefficiency, and proof of stake came as a solution to the energy inefficiency of proof of work, but we believe that proof of stake itself also suffers from some inefficiency, which we call the capital inefficiency. So back in early November of last year, Ankr was the first to enable Ethereum liquid staking, and with Ethereum liquid staking, the use case was very obvious. It was about providing liquidity to staked Ethereum because we could not, and we still cannot, unstake Ethereum. We need to wait to phase 1.5 of Ethereum 2.0. So liquidity is obviously a very important aspect, and that's actually where the term liquid staking comes from. However, when you think about other blockchains such as Fantom, liquidity is not necessarily the main attractive point about liquid staking because you can unbond staked Fantom in 7 days. So the other inefficiencies that we believe are important is the inability to borrow against staked Fantom, for example. We believe this is an inefficiency that we are aiming to solve, and also the inability to receive additional rewards on top of Fantom staking rewards, for instance, because the specificity of DeFi is its composable passive income nature, right? Like every time you try to earn some yield with your yield farming strategies, you have that ability to earn several layers of rewards, and with staking, you do not have that option. So we believe that in itself is also an inefficiency. So liquid staking is much more than just liquidity. It is about solving the capital inefficiency of proof of stake. It is about lowering the barriers to entry to staking by making it as easy as a swap. It is about enabling you to easily contribute to the security of the proof of stake networks. It has also another very interesting and unique feature, which is the elastic supply of liquid staking. Because you have the ability to unstake, for example, Avalanche, we have Avalanche liquid staking, so you can unstake Avalanche by giving back Avalanche liquid staking token to Ankr, and in up to 28 days, you receive the fair value back of your stake tokens. So that ultimately gives a much more price stability mechanism for liquid staking, because with Ethereum, it mostly depends on how much liquidity you have in decentralized exchanges. The more liquidity you have, the more likely you will be that your token is going to be traded fairly. However, with that elastic supply feature, whenever there is a discount on, let's say, Fantom liquid staking, well, there will be a trading opportunity to buy that token at a discount, let's say 2% discount, and then you unstake it through Ankr. In 7 days, you receive the fair value back. This is a very important feature that will, in our opinion, give price stability for liquid staking tokens and reducing its dependency to having large liquidity pools. And the last part is really about centralized exchanges. We don't really see at Ankr centralized exchanges as a competitor. Like large centralized exchanges, obviously, they provide staking deposits to their clients in the way they know how to do it, right? Which is integrating the staking nodes, integrating that to their infrastructure, and they offer themselves those staking deposits. However, we believe that medium or lower size centralized exchanges that do not have the resources, time, capacity to integrate staking infrastructure to their system, they can simply actually buy and hold the liquid staking tokens as a full collateral for the staking deposits of their users. So this is a way to basically enable staking deposits for centralized exchanges without any integration needed, which is the ultimate scalable way to offer staking to centralized exchanges. So I was mentioning earlier that enables liquid staking enables yield farming strategies. So far, when you stake, you cannot yield farm. You need to choose between yield farming or staking. With liquid staking, you no longer have that dilemma where you need to choose between both. You can actually stake and benefit from yield farming opportunities. And those yield farming opportunities are also quite unique. You have what we call low impermanent loss liquidity pools, right? So, for example, last week we enabled the Matic liquid staking liquidity pool on Curve Finance versus Matic. So that's on Ethereum network. And basically that offers a low impermanent loss liquidity pool. And we're looking forward to have some farming rewards to incentivize liquidity to that pool. But it has a liquidity provider. You no longer potentially need to choose, right, between staking rewards or staking yield farming. That makes it actually very interesting also for other use cases that we will discuss related to lending. So liquid staking has different participants. That's required to have different levels of knowledge about DeFi. You have the stakers, you have liquidity providers, yield farmers, advanced traders that are willing to exploit trading opportunities or even sometimes arbitrage opportunities, meaning zero risk trading opportunities, and lenders by lending, let's say, Fantom token to Fantom liquid staking holders. You have the ability to indirectly benefit from yield farming opportunities on top of liquid staking tokens. Why? Because we believe that the borrowing rate of like Fantom is going to converge to the staking rewards of Fantom staking, and ultimately, if you want to indirectly benefit from these opportunities related to yield farming, we believe that the borrowing rate and the lending interest is going to be very close to than staking rewards, or even potentially higher, as I will explain later in the presentation. So liquid staking use cases in DeFi is obviously about providing and enabling liquidity for traders, but also liquidity mining rewards for the liquidity providers. Yield farming opportunities, no longer need to choose between yield farming and staking. Lending, so here we're the issue with lending currently and liquid staking tokens is because most liquid staking tokens are rebasing. So I will explain later what it means exactly. The issue is that the current lending platforms, they're basically not built and designed specifically for the use cases of liquid staking. And to enable liquid staking in those platforms, either they need to change significantly their system to make it possible for liquid staking, or well, they will simply not list liquid staking tokens in those platforms. So we're working with ONX Finance, for example, a strategic partner, where we're actually developing those use cases of lending on top of liquid staking. And they adapted their lending platform exactly for what we need, and ultimately we're going to explore margin lending possibilities related to that. There is also use cases about stable coins. So as I said, the borrowing interest is likely going to increase and converge towards staking rewards, potentially even being more expensive to borrow than staking rewards. So it is important to have an alternative source of financing to fuel lending activities related to liquid staking. So we thought that a stable coin backed by liquid staking tokens actually makes a lot of sense. Because you have the possible, since the collateral is generating yield, you can use those staking rewards to incentivize the stablecoin lending supply and make the borrowing side like cheap, because it is incentivized and subsidized by the lending supply, which is subsidized by the vault holding the collateral of the stablecoins. So I think this is also an interesting use case. And ultimately, trading opportunities can happen in different ways. I mentioned before the fact to be able to buy at a discount a liquid staking token potentially on Bonded, and after 7 days you realize that gain. However, there is also opportunities among DEXs, as you can buy at different prices. Also potentially cross-chain, and we're enabling Ankr Bridge to bridge liquid staking tokens to different chains. And also a concept of instant liquidity pools that I'm going to show later. So the liquid staking market opportunity is also very appealing. 220 billion stake tokens as of a few days ago. Annual rewards estimated it's 19 billion for those 8 blockchains. Average reward 8.7%. So this is obviously very appealing, and the appealing part as well is that for some blockchains, the staked market is actually higher than the market cap itself, like in the case of Solana and Avalanche. And as a reminder, the market cap includes only the circulating supply, and staked tokens are not part of the circulating supply. So the staked market of Avalanche and Solana is bigger than the market cap of Avalanche and Solana itself. So for Ankr, our liquid staking offering is basically designed in line with 2 fundamental concepts on how we design the tokens. The first one is a reward-bearing staked token, which is ETHC. So for ETHC, the fair value of the token is increasing. However, the amount of tokens that you hold on your wallet stays the same. So basically, the fair value of ETHC versus Ethereum is supposed to grow as the staking rewards are accumulated by our staking pool. That currently the fair price is about 1.049 Ethereum for 1 ETHC. So if you will be able to unstake Ethereum tomorrow, and then you will be able to collect 1.049 Ethereum by giving back 1 ETHC to Ankr. If you do it in 2 months, the amount of Ethereum that you can collect will be higher. For rebasing tokens, it makes it a little bit easier for users to understand how much rewards they get in the way where if you hold ETHB, which is a reward earning version of our stake tokens, you will see the balance on your wallet increase over time. So on a daily basis, we update a ratio that will update the balance on your wallet. And this basically simulates the amount of staking rewards that you get on your wallet. So the fair price of 1 ETHB is 1 Ethereum, the same for Avalanche, and so on and so forth. However, you receive more ETHB on your wallet on a daily basis. So that's what we call rebasing tokens. The roadmap for this year, so this month we released Polygon, Polkadot, and Kusama liquid staking tokens. So here is an exclusive announcement for the Fantom community. So in November, we're going to launch a Fantom liquid staking token. So I hope you're excited about that. And we're also going to enable StakeFi Alpha dashboard, which is a data aggregating tool that will summarize all yield farming opportunities for Ankr liquid staking tokens to make it easier for you to explore DeFi and yield farming with our tokens. And then in December, we're going to release our other products. The main one is the Ankr Bridge to really make our liquid staking multi-chain experience. So for the other roadmaps beyond StakeFi, the Ankr protocol is going to be really the backbone of our product built on top of StakeFi that will ensure that we can grow in a scalable way. And the RPC roadmap also is something that Josh is going to present to you in another conference that should happen tomorrow about decentralizing decentralized infrastructure. So I really encourage you to assist that conference as well. Will be very interesting. And yeah, currently we have multi-RPC solutions for Fantom and Polygon. And for November, December, we're going to expand that product into other chains as well. So the liquid staking ecosystem is going to be powered by the Ankr protocol that is being released, and that has a few functionalities that are important. So first, it powers our StakeFi ETH2 nodes that I'm going to show you after. It enables the Ankr Bridge to allow users to have a multi-chain liquid staking experience. Why? Because as the ratios need to be updated daily to make sure that through rebasing you receive those staking rewards. If we are doing that on a multi-chain basis, basically we need to make sure that you're receiving the same amount of staking rewards on your, let's say, ETHB, on Fantom, and Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum and all chains, and there should not be any discrepancy, right? So that's important that we have the Ankr protocol to make sure that we can enable that in a reliable way and scalable way. If we have the Ankr Bridge integration into multi-chain trading aggregators, such as, for example, OpenOcean will be possible. So that's the kind of collaboration that we're looking for in the future. We can enable liquid staking margin lending, as we discussed with ONX Finance as one of our strategic partners, and ultimately the staking, unbundling, and all these transactions happening at the level of the Ankr protocol should be enabled by a set of validator nodes that then should support not only StakeFi products, but also the multi-RPC. So here I'm going to give you an insight about our StakeFi ETH2 node providers. So here it is an interesting system where we kind of forced Ethereum to become delegated proof of stake and having what we call StakeFi ETH2 sidecar or nodes that replicate a bit the role of a validator in the context of a delegated proof of stake system. So here it is actually our community that has been fantastic, and they're enabling 208 nodes in our system, and as a node provider, we basically delegate to them the ETH2 validator node task, and they perform that task instead of us to decentralize the system. Those node providers are hosted by not only Ankr, but they're free to host their nodes with any provider basically. And we have also a slashing risk monitoring system that also actively manages and reallocates the ETH2 validator nodes that we allocate to the sidecars. So if there is a sidecar that is not working properly, we're going to start reallocating the validator node to another sidecar to prevent slashing risks. So the probability to experience slashing risk events is extremely low, because the Ankr protocol is actively managing actually that system to prevent that situation. So that's why not every sidecar has the same amount of validator nodes, right? There are some differences that are the result of that sidecar allocation or allocation of ETH validator nodes keys to the sidecars. For liquid staking with delegated proof of stake blockchains, it is a little bit easier and the system is different. So here the key is to have a staking balancer that decides how to allocate the received amount of, let's say, Fantom tokens on StakeFi level. Where do we delegate? Which validator nodes do we choose? So here we started with the Ankr validator nodes for most of our proof of for most of the blockchains that we support, but we're looking forward to delegate to other validator nodes. So ideally, for the, let's say, the well-being of the community, it should be validator nodes that kind of actively support our solution. So, Fantom Foundation, if they support the liquid staking solution, and if they have a validator node, obviously, I think one way to strengthen that collaboration will be to enable that. Will be to make the staking balancer delegate to the Fantom Foundation validator node, for example, and indirectly benefit from supporting our liquid staking solution. Ultimately, the staking balancer is going to be governed by Ankr DAO, which is going to create Ankr StakeFi Council. The StakeFi Council is voted by the DAO, and the council is going to calibrate those staking balancer, not only for, let's say, Fantom, but for every blockchain, to make sure that it adapts to the market conditions for the validator node market. For StakeFi, there is also a fee layer that we can potentially apply. So currently we're not applying any StakeFi fee for Polygon liquid staking, for example. And then the concept of instant liquidity pools, it will be something where instead of allocating 100% to the validator nodes, we could allocate 99% to the validator nodes, 1% to the instant liquidity pool. That allows users to swap at fair value their liquid staking tokens immediately instead of waiting for the unbundling period. So I think that will be the last pillar of our price stability mechanism that we want to achieve. That is based not only on having liquidity pools, also the elastic supply feature of the liquid staking tokens, and then the instant liquidity pools should be the last piece to make sure that those tokens are very, very often treated fairly. So the security mechanism as well is important. So our Ankr protocol enables different cryptographic threshold signature mechanisms that adapt to all the blockchains that we're planning to integrate. So now we integrated all the methods that we will need to support other blockchains, and the Ankr node providers on the Ankr protocol level will not only support StakeFi, but also support the multi-RPC solution that we're developing, and to make sure that we can provide decentralized nodes marketplaces for the RPC, for example, and make sure that we enable StakeFi to have a node management system that is not only diversified in terms of who are the node providers of those blockchains, but that ourselves, we are also becoming decentralized and powered not only by Ankr, but other participants. Finally, the Ankr bridge, as I mentioned, is going to enable a multi-chain experience thanks to the Ankr protocol, and ultimately we believe that this is how it will happen. Anyone should be able to have access to Fantom liquid staking, not only on Fantom, but in other chains as well. So I think that's going to facilitate a lot the growth of all these blockchains, and also contribute for having more people staking, which contributes to the security of all these blockchains. Last, why Ankr as a liquid staking provider? So it is important to remember that Ankr is not only a liquid staking provider, we are actually a trusted node infrastructure provider that integrates more than 40 blockchains. So we started in 2017. Our decisions and how we run the company is not like based on like venture capital funds that are trying to guide our decisions depending on their interests. So we're running basically independently. We're opening the Ankr DAO, as I mentioned before, which will really put the decision keys to the community. And we're also offering APIs for more than 15 blockchains for developers to develop. And we're also enabling public Fantom RPC that you might be familiar with, which we're also expanding to other networks. In terms of numbers, Ankr is the second East liquid staking provider. It is also one of the validator nodes for BNB. We started recently Avalanche liquid staking. And we also launched very, very recently Polygon liquid staking, as well as Polkadot and KSM. So we're really excited to have announced to you exclusively the launch of the Fantom liquid staking solution planned for November. We hope that you are excited about that. We count on your support. And also feel free to use one of our API solutions or the public Fantom RPC, which is a permissionless solution that anyone can use at any time. So thank you so much for your support and your attention, and I wish you a nice day. Thank you.
All right, I think we wanted to do a little Q&A. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, so the question is, how, if you're running a validator node, how can you contribute? So there's a pretty high barrier to entry, right, to run a validator, right, which is at the moment, well, 1 million Fantom, I believe. We have this sidecar solution that we deployed on ETH2, and in the future that's rolling out to Fantom as well. So we will have the ability for validators to contribute through that mechanism. But we made a lot of improvements over the last year to that technology, so it's coming soon. So we'd love to have you as part of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So in case till that happens, the liquid staking coins or tokens would be staked on the nodes run by Ankr?
We are, as Filipe said in the presentation, at the moment, to start with, we are planning to delegate to the Fantom Foundation's validator. So we'll start with that, but then long term, with the interest from the community, we would like to roll out more validators and whatnot and provide that decentralization to the validator itself.
So would you be looking at the foundation's recommendations for other validators as well, or just like choosing the foundation nodes only?
I think we want our DAO to do that. So one of the things that Filipe was saying is like we're decentralizing our entire governance. So the Ankr token holders will actually be voting on that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So I think that theory won't work on Polygon since the foundation nodes there are probably shutting down and half are already shut down. So like Ankr would run their own node then, or? Yeah,
we could absolutely. Like with, we can do either or. We can delegate to someone else's validator, or we can run our own. It just depends on how many assets are really the interest. So we're excited to see what comes with that and run that through governance.
Thank you so much.
Yep. All right. I think Filipe's going to have some questions online. If you guys have any questions later, please tweet us at ANKR on Twitter, and we'll be sure to answer those questions on Twitter. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful conference. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Josh, Neuroth, and Filipe from Ankr. Thank you so much.